Hi, I'm Melissa McMahon, and I want to share with you 7 things that I would want potential homeschoolers to know. A lot of friends have been contacting me interested in homeschooling this year. It's just been a crazy year, and they're not sure if they should go back to public school, private school, distance learning, or homeschooling. So I, I wanted to list these 7 things that you should think about if you're thinking about homeschooling. The first one is that you are already your child's teacher. Whether you like it or not. When that child was placed in your arms, you became his or her teacher. You taught them how to sit, you taught them how to walk, you taught them how to talk, you taught them how to eat their food. You're always teaching your child. So when you think about becoming their homeschool teacher, it's really just adding another category to teaching to what you're already doing. So maybe that will help you feel a little bit better about becoming your child's teacher because you already are. It's not something new, just a new aspect of it. The other thing I would want you to consider is that you're not committing to a lifetime of homeschooling if you decide to homeschool right now. It's a crazy time. It might call for a crazy decision like homeschooling. When you decide to homeschool your kindergartner, you are not signing up to homeschool them through high school physics or anything else. You can just take it year by year, child by child, semester by semester even. And that's what we've done with our family. We started with our eldest 12 years ago in first grade and decided to homeschool her. And then each year it's just been consider what's best for each child in each year. And amazingly, here we are starting 12th grade and surprised me more than anybody else. So you can take it year by year and child by child. You're not committing to a lifetime of this. It can just be a few months even. The third thing I want you to know is that homeschooling comes in many different flavors. You can have the very traditional kind of school at home kind of look, or you can have an avant-garde unschooling kind of experience, and then a ton of variety in between. So if you're considering homeschooling, I want you to really think about what you would want that to look like. And again, it can look like anything, just as every family is different and every kid is different, every homeschool will look different. So don't think that just because you know a particular homeschool family and you're not like that family at all, that your homeschooling would have to look like them, because you could take 100 different homeschool families and they would all look completely different. So I want you to know that there are many, many varieties of homeschooling. Fourth, I want you to know that it does not have to cost a lot. It does not even have to cost anything. I really think if you have a library card, you can educate your child because that's where the knowledge is in the books. And if you've got internet access, then you have a whole nother world that you can glean from. Now, you can buy a boxed curriculum that has everything in it that you would need for everything for your child, but they can be very expensive. We use the free curriculum at amplesideonline.org, and that has worked wonderfully for our family. And it is a free curriculum put together by homeschool moms 20 years ago, and it's got a ton of support from moms who are doing it now and moms who've graduated their kids. So that's a wonderful option. There are lots of other options too. So just know that you don't have to spend a lot on your homeschool curriculum. And if anybody tells you to do, they're probably selling you something. So just be aware of that. Fifth, I want you to know the laws in your state. And we're in Alabama, and I want you to know it is super easy in Alabama. You used to have a cover school in Alabama. You don't anymore. That law changed in 2014. Now, some cover schools don't really want you to know that the law changed, and they might insist that you do need a cover school. Go to the State Department of Education website. It says right there that you don't. So just be aware of that. All you'd have to do if your child is currently enrolled in a public school in Alabama is to withdraw them from that school, and then you can send a one-time letter of intent to your to the Board of Education, your local Board of Education. And that's all. You don't have to keep any records of attendance or grades or anything else. Now, if your child goes back into school, they might have a placement test. Usually elementary age, my understanding is that it's pretty much just put on the age. Certainly high school, they probably do a placement test to know which credits your child should receive for those classes. But you don't have to do any reporting at all. Super easy. But check for your own state. I'm speaking of Alabama for that. Sixth, I want you to know that distance schooling looks nothing like homeschooling should look, okay? So when everything shut down this spring and those poor teachers and administrators had to come up with an alternate plan for the kids who had been in public school, and a lot of parents and kids hated it because it was just all online and sitting there, and I feel for everybody in this situation because I don't think anybody really thrived in that. Homeschooling does not have to look that way. We were set off too when everything locked down. The things that we like to do and the classes we like to go to and the friends we like to see weren't an option for us either. So homeschooling does not look like that and shouldn't look like that. So if you are basing your decision on homeschooling based on your experience last spring at the beginning of the pandemic lockdown, just it is not like that at all. So just know that um, it, that is not what we're going for at all as homeschoolers, and and it was hard on us too, and continues to be as things still aren't quite up to what they were in normalcy. The last thing I want you to know and to consider is that this is going to be a weird year for everybody. As schools are trying to decide if they reopen and how they do virtual learning versus in the classroom learning, I think everybody's just going to be on a huge learning curve. And so having your child out for some of that time, I don't think it's going to put them at a disadvantage at all. I think it might give them a lot more stability. And so if you're concerned about taking out your second grader and homeschooling for a year, and then, what does she need to know to be in third grade next year? I don't think you can really base that off of previous years because I think it's going to be really different. So it's going to be weird. That's just how it is. So how weird are you going to make it, right? So if you are interested in homeschooling, I hope that you'll consider these things. I hope that you will look at your local laws, get in touch with some local homeschoolers perhaps. I know in our area in North Alabama, we've got a ton of different groups on Facebook and social media. And if you can plug into one of those, there's always stuff going on. So blessings to you. Please let me know if I can help you out in any way in your homeschooling journey. Thanks.